News this afternoon, Captain Sam Brown has officially filed to run for U.S. Senate in Nevada. The Republican filed his paperwork in Carson City earlier today. Brown is a retired Army captain and Purple Heart recipient. In 2008, he was deployed to Afghanistan and was injured by a roadside bomb. According to his campaign page, he wants to serve his country in a new way. Now, Brown is expected to challenge incumbent Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen in the general election. Earlier this month, Rosen announced she is officially filing for re-election here in Vegas. She was introduced by leaders of plumbers and pipe fitters, firefighters, electrical workers, and the local hotel worker unions. The first-term moderate Democrat launched her campaign for a second term last year, but made it official about 2 weeks ago. And to track the candidate filings, you can head to our website, fox5vegas.com. The filing period ends tomorrow. The list of candidates is not official until the Nevada Secretary of State's office says the end of the withdrawal and challenge periods, and will be published no later than April 3rd.